guys, welcome back to Dividend Obsession. My name is Troy. Today's video, we're going to do a portfolio overview from the month of April. I'm going to go over the stocks I bought in April, how much I bought. I'm going to show you guys who paid me and how much. I'm going to show you the total that I made and compare it to the last month. And then I'm also going to go over the goals that I set in last portfolio overview video, and also to see if we achieved any of those goals, and also maybe set some new goals towards the end of the video. So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to jump right into my buys. So this is in my IBA. You guys can see I do a dollar cost average every day, as long as I don't forget and as long as I have enough money. So you guys can see I was pretty consistent with that right here in column A. We have buys on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 13. I skipped the 12. So we did pretty good. We did a lot of buys. I did have a allocation calculator on my portfolio tracker that told I'm underweight in certain stocks. So there you'll notice that a lot of the symbols are the same symbols. I was trying to get back, equal weighted in there. So all of that to say, the stocks I bought this month, I bought Apple. I bought 1.672 shares of Apple at an average price of $168. I spent $282 on Apple. Illinois Toolworks, I bought 0.251 shares, average cost of $202. Spent $50 on them. NextEra Energy, 1.877 shares. I spent $156 on them, average cost of $83 per share. Pool Corp, I bought 0.554 shares at an average cost of $422 even. I spent $233 on them. And then Starbucks, another half a share, $81.35, and I spent $43. So in total for the IBA, I bought almost 5 shares, so 4.888 shares. I did spend $766.52 in the IBA by itself just in April. Next, we're going to dive into the Roth. Again, for the Roth, I struggled with this a little bit. So back when I was adding money to try to max out the Roth to get to that 6,000, I didn't really have the long-term picture in mind. And what I mean by that is I was just spending my money dollar cost averaging basically until the next time I knew I was going to put funds in the account. And what that did, it was really great, building the portfolio while, the January through March. However, now that we're in April, I basically have that last $1,500 that I contributed, but I don't want to just put all that in the market now. The market's really dipping now. It'd be great. But you never know when the bottom is. And I'm not trying to time the bottom. I'm just trying to put a little bit in every day. So what I did for the Roth is I actually switched it to every Tuesday. I will put X number of dollars, again, trying to keep that allocation even. So yeah, it's been a struggle. My contributions are obviously a lot less since I was doing it daily. Now I'm doing it every Tuesday. So there's something like 37 Tuesdays left. Fun fact, in the month or in the year, sorry. So I'm really dividing the amount of money I'm going to put, or the amount of money I have to put in each stock to keep my allocations where I want them, and that's divided by the number of Tuesdays. So yeah, you'll see we have purchases on 4/5, we have purchases on 4/13, purchases on 4/19, and the 26th. Didn't click the 26th. And I'm buying all the stocks here. So I did a really good job of keeping this portfolio balanced. So the good news is I do get to add something, at least something to each stock, or in this case, ETFs for the most part. And again, we have the amount of shares I was able to purchase throughout the month right here in this column. So 1.1135, 0.224 of QQM, SCHD, I got 0.104. SPYG, I got 0.52, 502. Tesla, not really enough to talk about. VNQ and VOO, those are all my holdings for my Roth IRA. In total, I bought 2.16 shares in my Roth for the month of April. And I spent $163.85 to do so. So again, it's a little less, less exciting than it used to be in my previous videos, because now I have the limit, right? I can't add any more money to this. But the exciting part about that is I was able to max out my Roth for the second year in a row. More on that in a second. or later in the video, I should say. And I get the transition into the IBA, which is, my retire early account. So that's what we're going for there too. So next, we're going to look at the 401k. So at my job, I really have no solid options, to be honest. So I feel like I picked the most solid options, which is a small and mid cap index fund, and then a total market index fund. It's kind of the only thing. Everything else is pretty much a target date fund or a overseas fund. Funds not in the U.S., which I really don't have an interest in holding, to be honest. So we have these two stocks, my small and mid. I bought 6.427 shares of the small mid cap and 2.819 shares of the total market, which is 9.246 total shares. And I spent $886.33 in my 401k contributing to these holdings. So I'm excited about that. It's a big number. We're getting close to 1,000 in a month, which is great. And then the HSA. So I have a high deductible health plan at work. So I am allowed to have an HSA through my employer. Again, this is basically a piggy bank for medical expenses. I don't go to the doctors too often, hardly ever, to be honest. So this allows me to, instead of spending a lot of money per month out of my paycheck to pay for health insurance that I don't use, I have a high deductible health plan, and I can put this money, I think it's 152.08 or something like that. I can put that money in an HSA, and I can actually invest that money. So that's what I've been doing. So here are my purchases, and this is one I try to buy every day. So I put that 152.08 in the account, and then I can go through and allocate that money however often as I want. So what I do here is I just divide however much I put in there, that 152.08 divided by 10. And if I'm able to remember to invest every day, which you guys will see here I didn't do a great job of doing, if I'm able to remember to invest every day, then I will just, divide it by 10. And the next day it's divided by 9, and it works out pretty well. So here's all the days I bought in April. And then I have that one stock, and this is a small cap fund, ideas for growth. I'm not going to need this money and or have access to this money for a long time. So why not see if I can get some growth out of it? I was able to buy 13.022 shares of FSSNX. That's a fun one to say. At an average price of $24.35, and I spent $314.15 in my HSA just in April. So I'm excited about that. Next, I wanted to look at the totals, right? So here's the IBA. We already went over this, but I thought what would be cool is to see how much in dividends I added. This is going to be annually, how much I added for the year just in April. So in my IBA, I added $8.71 in the month of April in dividends just by itself. In my Roth, I added $1.82. In my 401k, we added $4.45, and then HSA $3.74. This is a total of $18.71. And I also, another thing I wanted to show, I contributed $2,130.85 in full total for the month of April, which is cool. I don't know that there's been a month where I've contributed over $2,000 before, so I'm really proud of that. So we did good there. So next thing I wanted to show you guys is the tracker, right? So this is a custom tracker that I made. Again, if you guys are interested in this tracker, I've had somebody reach out to me already, and I made a blank one and sent it out. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys are interested, and I can get that sent out. So first thing I want to do is show who paid me in April. April is my lowest paying month by far, not close. So this should be quick part of the video. So in April, in my IBA, I only received a payment from ITW in the amount of $4.44 on the 14th. I did drip that, and it bought me 0.022 shares. So we're going to go back over here to the dividend tracking tab, and you guys can see that logged right here. So one thing I do want to bring up is, so here's my $4.44 from this year. Last year in April, I made $4.52. So you can be like, hey, Troy, I thought the idea was to grow your dividends. Well, last year in April at this time, I had a different mindset. I had a different portfolio allocations, different stocks in total. So this year it's more focused on, I have a goal, I have a mission. So I don't have those stocks that paid me that. 452 last April, and I have a different group, or in this case, ITW is my holding that paid me here. So you can see I had a negative 1.8% growth, but that is not because anybody cut a dividend. It is because I have different holdings now. And I can actually go back over here, dividend history, and I can get rid of this filter. And we can just do IBA. And if we can go back to April of last year, you guys can see I had UGI paying me, ADP, Coca-Cola, Walmart, Kimberly-Clark, Leggett & Platt, Cincinnati Financial, SPHD. They all paid me, and that's what that total is. And you'll notice here they have really small amounts. I had a lot of companies in that portfolio, and now I'm really trying to narrow down the companies to quality companies. Not that these aren't quality, but I'm trying to make sure I understand the companies that I'm in. And less is more. I can build up more equity in these companies versus having a bunch of companies with no equity. So that was my goal there. So I only got paid from two of my accounts this month, the IBA and the 401k. So 401k paid me $25.90 on 4/8 from that total market index fund. I dripped the shares, which bought me 2.08 shares. So I can go to the 401k dividend tracking, and we're over here. So you can see last year, and this is where my growth is coming in, right? So we are at $15.09 last year, and we are up to $25.90 this year, which is a growth of 71.6%, comparing month to month. So last April versus this April. So that's really good. I'm proud of that. And the next thing I wanted to show you is the dividend tracking combined. So this puts any dividends I've received in April from any account, and it combines them all together just to see the actual how I'm doing in my dividend journey, right? So we have right here April of 2022. I made $30.34 in April of 2022. Again, this is my low month. You can see January of 2022, I made $4.33, and that was just ITW. So my ITW shares did go up, which is great, and the goal. So we have $30.34, comparing that to last year where I made $19.62 at the same time period, and that's with making more in the IBA. And that is a growth rate of 54.6%. So I'm really, really excited about that. Again, you can look up here first quarter or first month of last quarter. I also had a growth, but that was 25.5%, and we're at 54.6%. So we're keeping those really, really high numbers. 25 is still nothing to bat an eye at. So that's year over year growth right there. So that's good. All right, and again, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the goals that I set in the last video. So a reminder in case you guys did not watch the last video, my goals that I set was I wanted to finish maxing out my Roth IRA, and my goal was to have that done by the first or second week of April, and I wanted to give you guys an update. I was able to max out my Roth IRA, and I did that on April 5th. So got that done that first week, and now the second goal, and this feeds right into it, my second goal is to hit the IBA full steam, right? That my goal is to retire early. I need to get that account funded. That is the one I have access to at any point. That's the one I need to get my investments cranking, get that dividend money coming in, get the snowball rolling, and then work towards that early retirement goal. And I did that. So my goal was to just hit it hard in April. I was able to contribute. It was $741.11, starting on 4/5 until the end of this month. So next month, I already added, I think it was $1,500 into my IBA, which is going to be my May play money in my IBA. And I'm going to do my allocations, which you guys will be able to see. I don't know if I have it updated on here. I know I updated the one at work, but I don't know if I did it on here. I did not. But down here, this is my allocation. So once I update my cash holding, which is right here, once I update that cash holding to not say 3 cents, but instead say, $1,500, it'll update down here. I'll change my dates and how many days I have to invest, which I think is 20 if my memory is right. So it'll be whatever number needs to get these balanced out divided by 20, and that much I'll do per day. If I miss a day, I just calculate it differently. But $1,500 for May, I think, is my play money. $741 is what I was able to add in April. So you guys can already see, not that I'm going to be able to double every month, but we doubled April's play money to $1,500 next month. My next goal was to balance out my IBA. So I didn't really have allocation goals. I just had companies that I wanted to buy, and I was like, I think this much in this company was a good idea. So you guys can again see right here. I have my goal allocations of 11%, 10%, 8% there, 11 more eights, tens, and then more eights. And here's my companies that I'm in. I know that you're not supposed to have more than 5% in one stock. Like that's the general rule of thumb. I don't have enough stocks to have less than 5% or 5% or less in each company. So I just tried to balance out my growth and my solid companies that I like. I really like Apple. I really like Microsoft. So those are going to be my two top holdings. And then AbbVie, Pool Corp, and Starbucks are, and yeah, AbbVie, Pool Corp, and Starbucks are my next three, and then everybody else is balanced out at eight. Then I can, once I get this balanced, you guys can see here I'm overweight in a couple of these. Any of the ones with parentheses on them, I'm overweight in. So once I get this balanced out, then I can start really scouting for other companies that I want to add. I have a couple companies on my watch list, and I might make videos on those, like what's making me decide one company over the other. So keep your eyes out for that. All right, and the last thing I want to do is maybe set some new goals here. So I don't really have too many new goals, other than possibly, hopefully, if I can get balanced out by the end of May in my allocations, like hit these goals that you guys can see. That would be great. If I can get that done by the end of May, then maybe I can start doing that research I was just talking about. And then I did call Fidelity, which is who I have all my investing accounts through, just to keep them all in the same place. I called them, and she said that you can either do on the phone call and speak with somebody, and they can give you tips and tricks and look at my portfolio and tell me how I'm doing, things I might consider, whatever. Or I actually have a Fidelity branch really, really close to my job. And I can also schedule an appointment there. So I might do that sometime in May, where I probably prefer to sit down just to get that one-on-one connection. Sit down with a Fidelity person and just say, hey, here's my goal, here's my tracker, here's my plan. How do you think? Any tips or tricks? And maybe most of this is self-taught through YouTube and reading and different things. So maybe they'll have some helpful tips, or maybe it's just that reassurance. Hey, Troy, you're doing a great job. So those are really my two main goals for May. I will keep you guys posted. That's really all I have for today's video. Please be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed this. It's not the point of this video is not to. I don't think I'm flexing at all. I have small amounts of money compared to where I want to be. But the point of the video is really to show you guys that like dividend investing starts. It starts here. It doesn't start where you see a lot of the YouTubers and stuff like that, where they're at hundreds of thousands of dollars. They started here too. So going down and looking, I have 823 total shares, but that's in every account I have. Comparing it to last year, I had 642 at the end of year. So, we added almost 200 shares just in the first quarter and a month. So it starts here. Like you're going to have to make these small amounts of money, this $30 a month, this stuff that people will bat an eye at. It starts here though. Like this is $30 that I made in April that I did not work for. I just invested in quality companies and they return parts of their profits as dividends. So that's really the point of these videos. If you guys enjoyed, like I said, smash the like button, subscribe. I do new dividend related content every Monday and Friday. Be sure to comment down below and let me know if you guys are interested in the tracker. If you guys have any video content ideas, let me know that as well. And then how much you guys made in April. If you guys are dividend investors, I'd love to hear down in the comments how much you guys made in April, when you started, how much you have invested, or your yield, or whatever information you guys feel like providing. I think it'll be really nice to get a nice comment train going down there and see how everybody's doing. But until next time, see ya.